So I am moving in 350 worms into what I'm calling my worm condo. I started with the blue bin roughly about a week ago. I thought that it was going to be really cool and I could leave them in there. And I was okay until I saw a little creepy crawly and I saw a worm that was on top of the bubble wrap. Now, I didn't think that he was trying to escape, but my mind just went on a tangent and felt like, oh my God, he could escape or they could escape. It wasn't a mass exodus, it was just an explorer, and it was one who liked the conditions in the bubble wrap as opposed to in the bin. But other than that, the worms would generally stay in the bin. It was also a little cumbersome to get under my bed and check this. Even though I have a 24-inch space under my bed, I still just didn't want the hassle of going under the bed. So when I set this up, I went on ahead and I got a 5 tier system just because I knew due to the volume of material that was in the blue bin, I would need at least 3 trays because I was not going to do the methods I had seen of trying to get all of the worms wrangled through all of the material, especially since it's just going to break down and be paper. And I really thought that if I didn't like having the worms, I would um, put them in my garden like I have put over 150 worms already in between my 3 raised beds. So now I am getting to where I have to break up the cardboard that I put at the bottom, and I put it there because it was supposed to absorb all of the water. I wasn't going to make leche. I really wanted this to be a dry system, and I developed pot worms, which are little white worms, which I thought were red wriggler worms, but they're not. Um, but they don't do anything to the bin. So it just let me know that I was keeping this space entirely too moist. So I'm just tearing up what is left of the cardboard because I want all the microbes that are in the bin already. I want the worms to know that this is their new happy place. And this is going to be bin number 3. So I'm not going to use this bin right away. And there is a pot worm that is not a baby red wiggler worm at all. They move completely different. And I did some research about just some more issues that you could have with the bin and where I wanted to keep it. So I've decided to keep it indoors just because it's a lot easier for me to deal with the bin. And I did a no no. I did a couple of no nos. I poured water in, and again, I was trying to make this really, really happy space or what I thought would be happy. But I am now using that same little bit of rainwater to kind of scoop up what is left in the bin, um, and to help further break down that cardboard. I was trying to be as ginger as possible and not tear any baby worms um, that I did not see because I know when I had checked the bins at one point in time, there were a lot of worms that were under the cardboard. So I just am making sure that I get everything using all the water, trying to be as gentle as possible because I did have worms that were stuck to my gloves. There were little worms and actual little red wriggler worms crawling under the remaining piles that were left. So I'm just tearing uh, the cardboard and trying to get it as small as possible while still maintaining space. But I know since the top 2 trays that are going to be on it are going to compress it, I will have to ruffle this out. Again, I assume there are going to be worms in here just because this was a part of their initial bedding. So I am doing the best that I can and I'm cleaning my hands, trying to get everything. And I'm going to put all the material that you see me using, because you can even put in paper towels into the bin. And this is just going to be more material to get the moisture out of the tower. And I'm going to let it stabilize before I add any more moisture to the bin. And now I'm just checking to see, I don't know, just ruffling it around, I guess. I don't know why I'm doing that, but I just am. So since these are my worms and not worms that are being shipped, I decided that I was going to feed them to kind of console them from the move. I gave them a little bit of watermelon, and I went back and added some brown, because you add 1 part food and 2 parts brown. And this is what the setup looks like in the corner. I will be sharing my worm farming journey on this channel along with the rest of my gardening content. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share,